McGraw-Hill Professional presents The Connected Child. Bring hope and healing to your adoptive family. Written by Karen B. Purvis, Ph.D., David R. Cross, Ph.D., and Wendy Lyons Sunshine. Narrated by Anna Crowe. Chapter 1. Hope and Healing. Parents who come to us for help often admit they're nearing the end of their ropes. The young child they brought home with high hopes remains somehow disconnected from the family, responding in odd or troubling ways to ordinary social situations, refusing affection, even lashing out, and controlling the family through rage and tantrums. These parents have tried timeouts and punishments, and they've tried medications, but nothing seems to really help. Frustrated, they take the little one to specialists, pursue all kinds of solutions, and while their son or daughter may show some degree of improvement, family life remains more of a trial than a joy. The good news is that there's real hope for a better way. As research psychologists who specialize in child development, we have been delighted to watch adopted children and their families make tremendous gains once they begin using the philosophy and techniques outlined in this book. When parents really begin to understand this approach and put these methods into practice, they soon glow with delight at their blossoming child and newly connected family. It gives us great joy to see a new light sparkling in the eyes of mothers and fathers who were once disheartened. What stood in the way before? Part of the problem was the conventional wisdom about troubled children. Here's an example. Imagine you've been invited to a friend's house for a snack of brownies. When you get there, you find flour, milk, eggs, sugar, and cocoa, each sitting in a separate dish. Your host says that you need to dip a finger into each dish and then put all of those ingredients on your tongue, and together, that gives you a brownie. Sounds silly, right? Yet that's the same type of piecemeal and disconnected approach traditionally used for diagnosing and treating at-risk children. Too often, parents and experts look at behavioral disorders as if they existed separate from sensory impairments, separate from attention difficulties, separate from early childhood deprivation, neurological damage, attachment disorders, post-traumatic stress, and so on. We take a more holistic approach because we know from a wealth of scientific research that a baby's neurological, physical, behavioral, and relational skills all develop and emerge together. An infant needs more than just food and water and a roof over his or her head to grow. He or she needs close physical human contact and social interactions to develop optimally. Unfortunately, adopted children can miss out on having all their earliest needs met before they go home with their new families. Deprivation and harm suffered early in life impact all the ways that a child develops. Coordination, ability to learn, social skills, size, and even the neurochemical pathways in the brain. These consequences can linger years after a child has left a life of hardship. That's why formerly neglected and abused children are predisposed to such problems as attachment difficulties, conduct disorder, depression, anxiety, attention deficits, learning disabilities, and more. For example, a baby is born to a birth mother who abused alcohol during the baby's formative weeks. Even though the infant is adopted at birth and looks normal, he suffers subtle thinking and neurological impairments that reduce his ability to process language and to learn. As he grows up, his weak language skills and slowed comprehension cause him to misinterpret parental instructions or give peculiar responses. This behavior gets misinterpreted as uncooperative and defiant by adults, who punish him. Fearfulness now interferes with his higher brain functioning, making it even harder for him to learn or to connect with his parents. A 2-year-old is adopted from an orphanage where she was underfed, undertouched, and neglected. From lack of stimulation, her senses have not developed normally. In her new adoptive home, she is bombarded by unfamiliar sights, sounds, smells, tastes, and physical sensations, and she is bewildered by the social expectations in the unfamiliar environment. Her impoverished early life make it impossible for her to keep up, and she becomes overwhelmed with stress and frustration.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?